River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Indiana Dan here with Easy E. No, Mr. Jimmy B today. Sir, how are we doing?
Cold and snowy, and just it's apparently fall is over.
Oh, indeed. We both got the same kind of gross snow that doesn't melt on pavement but accumulates on grass, and it was disgusting to take my trash out about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And very dark, and we're not anywhere close to the equinox yet, or the solstice yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I broke out my beanie in celebration of it being cold as hell now.
Yeah, I really like that hat. I'm really feeling that hat. I need to get me one of those.
Thank you. Yes, I have an altar. I could mail you. Well, if I don't cause chaos over here. There we go. I have my other, just more basic beanie too.
Oh yeah, I got a couple basic ones myself, but I like that one. I like the stripes and the color design.
Oh, apologies for the close up there. I almost destroyed everything that's behind my computer. But anyway, guys, as we do,
it won't matter if you destroy your computer, Dan, because when we win this parlay, you can just buy a new one.
That's true. That's very true. As we just locked in our parlay about a minute ago, to which I actually need to alternate that in order for us. There we go. Now it says week 12. That was the only thing I didn't change. Yes, as we do on every Friday, as we were alluding to, we do a parlay, and we're going to walk you through all of what we are betting on to hit this weekend of week 12. Obviously, the Thursday game is not a part of this, nor... Oh, no, do we have a Monday game this time? I don't remember.
The Monday game is the Ravens and Chargers.
Okay. Well, obviously, no Thursday night game because we tape on Thursdays, so...
I wouldn't have touched the Thursday game for anything anyways.
Yeah, no kidding with this matchup, but we're very confident in all of these picks we have for this weekend, as we are every week, but take us with a grain of salt, of course. We've only hit once. We've gotten close a handful of times, so hopefully this one will hit. First, right off the very top, the Lions are going to the Colts, and the alternate spread we're taking on this, we dropped it down to 6.5. Wasn't the spread 7 or 8?
Spread is 7.5.
Okay.
And the money line is 410.
Okay. So yeah, an alternate spread on here. Just I'm lower my 2 cents on this game. I think the Colts still suck, even though they beat the Jets. They beat them by 1, and this Lions team is a juggernaut. And even though the Colts are at home, this spread should be very, very obtainable. I don't think it'll be a Jaguars beatdown by any means, but I'd be very worried about the Lions if it's not at least by 7.
Yeah, I think we're the beneficiary of the Colts getting a sloppy win and a lucky win against the Jets last week. I think if they lose that game, I think that the spread is significantly higher. But I think because they got that sort of lucky win against the Jets, I think that gave the bettors and the bookies a little bit more confidence that the Colts have something going on. The reality is like you said, Dan, the Colts suck. They're still terrible. AR-15 is still bad. He's not good. And as you also stated, this Lions team is a juggernaut. This is going to be a beatdown, probably not of epic proportions like it was with the Jaguars last week, but they're going to blow them out by 20 points, I think. This spread is easily attainable.
Oh, yeah. No, if you put this at 10 or... no, not 14. 14 just is not good.
They cleared 14 last week, no problem.
I'm like James. I stray away from 14. Like, yes, this is incredibly lopsided, but honestly, no. Dude, 7 points. It should be at least 14 realistically, but tis what it is for our purposes. Next up, it's the lowly Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. The Texans are a little sus. I don't know if I want to call them full fakers like we've called the Vikings, but the Texans are kind of not. I don't know. They're kind of struggling. Even like you can point to a handful of injuries that they've had, but just I don't know. Losing Diggs shouldn't have been that bad. I don't know. The Texans are just not quite, call it expectations, I guess, but they're just not quite as good. They don't look like they're going to make it to the AFC Championship game, but they should be talented enough still to beat the Titans because the Vikings are fake. And it was hilarious that the Titans almost beat them, but the Texans are better than the Vikings. That's all I'm getting at. And Joe Mixon is really the heart and soul of that offense right now. Like, just something's going on with CJ Stroud. He's just kind of out of sync. So Joe Mixon going 70 rushing yards. And on my other tab over here, we have him going for a touchdown too. So not to jump totally around, but this didn't put them together for some reason. But yeah, we have Joe Mixon going for 70 yards and a touchdown, which seems very doable at home against a terrible Titans team.
Yeah, the Titans are really bad. I watched them play the Vikings that entire game last week, and they're really, really terrible. Their offensive line is just gross. So I think the Texans are going to be able to get a lot of pressure on them, cause a lot of 3 and outs. And that's going to give the Texans a lot of opportunities to have the ball and possess it, and give them a lot of time to run it with Joe Mixon. And that's what they've been doing all season long, is giving the ball to Mixon. I think when we looked this up last week, because we had Mixon on a bet last week, I don't think he's had less than 70 yards in any game this entire season. So feel very confident.
Since he came back from injury, yeah. He's like I said, he's been like the centerpiece of that offense, especially with Nico gone. But now with Nico back, we'll see. But I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's certainly very attainable. The Titans' defense is actually very good against the pass. So again, it's another reason for the Texans to lean into the run. And then Mixon scoring a touchdown. I mean, I think it's just a matter of him getting enough touches to be able to get that. He's got a touchdown in every game except for one this season. And I think he has 10 touchdowns on the season now. So I don't see any reason why he can't accomplish either of those things.
Dude, that's just a beast. And it just adds to this will be my only Cincinnati mention because we don't have them in this. But this just makes Cincinnati just look even sadder that they let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. I mean, I didn't think that he had this much left in the tank. I figured he was going to be serviceable, but like, holy crap! Like, he's still playing like he's worthy of a $10 million or $12 million contract. Like, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, he's playing great.
If only comeback player of the year could go to somebody that was just on just in an ass situation.
You, sir, were on a shitty team, and now you went to a better team, and you played great. You win.
You were on a good team that didn't treat you right, and now that team's going down the toilet, and you're fine. Like,
yeah. Mixon isn't even in a. He's not even in a contract year. I thought he might be playing, lights out for a new contract, but he's not even in a contract year. So I mean, he's just playing really well.
I was gonna say, did he sign a 2 or 3 year contract?
3-year contract. 3-year contract with Houston.
Yeah, no, you're right. So not even a contract year. Like, I don't know. Maybe they'll guarantee the 3rd year of his contract now. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah. He definitely earned some sort of incentive bonus.
Yeah, his contract is ridiculously cheap, to be honest, for a running back. So.
I'm sure. I'm sure Houston will figure out a way to restructure it after this year.
Yeah.
So anyway, on to our next one. We're gonna have thoughts on this because this won't take the whole hour. So there's plenty of thoughts to have on this game, but literally 20 minutes ago, before we jumped on here, I saw the injury report, and Purdy only practicing half of today. So that comes good and bad. Good in the sense that George Kittle is very, very likely to get a touchdown. He was already very likely to get a touchdown with Purdy, but even more so now, because if it ends up having to be oh my god, what's our backup's name again?
Brandon Allen.
Yeah, Brendan Allen's probably going to lean on him even harder if he has to go into the game. So I'm trying to, I said that more negatively in tone than I meant. George Kittle, this should hit because Purdy hits him damn near every game this year. And if it ends up being Brandon, Kittle's probably going to be the most reliable target on the field, especially if it is as gross outside on Sunday as it is right now. So,
yeah, I mean, hopefully Purdy plays. I don't think that the Niners have much chance to. We'll get into the whole thing later, anyways. But I mean, I don't think the Niners have much chance to win this game, even if Purdy does play. But one thing that's been consistent all season long is that when they get down in the red zone, Purdy looks for Kittle. He's very active looking for him. He's very active trying to find him. He throws passes his way, whether he's semi-covered, totally covered, it doesn't really matter. So he's making a point to feed Kittle the ball down in the red zone. And Kittle has scored, I think, 7 touchdowns so far this season already, maybe 8. And so it's just, it's a good position for him to be in. And he's been the only real consistent receiver that's produced on a regular basis game to game. So you got to roll with the hot hand.
Yeah, no, exactly. In terms of the passing game, the only hotter hand we have is Juwan Jennings, but it's the wide receivers are too inconsistent to pick with any of them. But Kittle, yes, aces. So on to the next part of our parlay. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown scorer, but also on top of that, Jalen Hurts will pass at least one through the air, which is not quite as guaranteed as I thought. Because I feel like last time we had him, he didn't throw a passing touchdown, but he had 3 in the ground, something like that. But against these Rams, it should be doable for him to hit both of them. The Rams defense is not terrible, but it is a little suspect, and this game just really should be a shootout. Like they got into a shootout with the Patriots, the Rams did, and the Eagles more than have enough firepower to make it into a shootout, especially the way that they like just really kick it into high gear in the second half. So Mr. Jimmy B always every single week, anytime touchdown and Hurts over 1 touchdown. Every single week. We get it, James.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really confident in this one too. Just like I said, this game should be a shootout on Sunday night. I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah, well, Hurts has 12 touchdowns on the season. We're entering week 12. He's got 1 passing touchdown in every game but 2 so far this season. And then he has 11 rushing touchdowns, and he has a rushing touchdown in every game but 3 this season. So, both of these things happen with a ton of regularity. And I don't see any reason why it wouldn't happen in this particular Rams game. Like you said, Rams defense is decent, but a little bit suspect, and haven't really held up against anybody this season. They haven't really stopped anybody. Teams are able to score. And this Eagles team has really turned the corner over the last month and a half, maybe 2 months. They were, kind of sputtering at the beginning of the season, lost to the Falcons, lost to Tampa Bay. But they've really turned it on here over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. They haven't beaten anybody good other than the Commanders, but they're kicking the crap out of the teams that they do play and beating them down pretty well. So, I think this will be a good game. It'll be a high scoring game. And I think the Eagles will come out on top, and would be really surprised if Hurts doesn't throw a touchdown and run one in.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And speaking of always scoring, Mr. Derrick Henry, Mr. Derrick Henry, I wish there was a bet if his butt was going to show up in this game. That would have been really fun to bet on. But we're going to keep riding this Derrick Henry anytime touchdown streak that he's on.
Yes, sir.
Even against the Chargers, like the Chargers surprisingly have a pretty good scoring defense. Like, go ahead and confirm that for me. But I thought I heard that the Chargers actually have the #1 scoring defense. If not, they're in the top 5. Like, the defense is surprisingly more stout under Jim Harbaugh than I realized.
I shall let you know.
But anyway, of course, it's Derrick Henry. He and Lamar Jackson are just insane together. The Ravens are still going to choke when it matters, but here on Monday night, second week in a row for primetime for the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are going to be able to handle the Ravens. But then again, these are two teams that are known to choke in big moments when you don't expect it. So, so that's kind of an exciting aspect to look at this game with. But Derrick's definitely going to score, if nothing else.
Chargers are steadfastly in the middle of the road when it comes to defense. They are 12th overall, and then 12th versus the pass, 11th versus the run.
What about points?
This particular site that I'm on does not appear to show points. Oh, scoring defense. They are the number 1 scoring defense. You are correct.
Okay.
They have allowed 14.5 points a game, which is almost 2 points a game better than the next best team, which is the Steelers. And then the Broncos, oddly enough.
Broncos are a sneaky good defense, dude. And then what that tells me is, despite their overall yardage being there in the middle, that's the ultimate epitome of bend don't break.
Yeah. What'll be really interesting is they've only given up 3 rushing touchdowns all season long. So it's going to be King Henry versus the toughest rushing defense. I'm just quickly looking to see if anybody has less than 3, and the answer is no. So the toughest scoring rushing defense versus King Henry, who will win?
It will be Henry. Let's
yes.
ourselves.
It'll be Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry will probably score 7 touchdowns.
Just watch.
Yeah, just to prove a point. That's it'll just be like touchdown.
Yes,
of like 5 touchdowns.
No, I'm glad I wasn't crazy. Because I remember taking a moment, just like, what? The Chargers have the number 1 score defense? Really? I was never going to guess that.
That's crazy.
Anyway, another part of this, Ravens money line. Yeah, the Ravens should win this, like I already said, so I don't have to beat a dead horse. The Ravens ought to just win this game.
For as good as the Chargers are statistical wise here that we just talked about and everything like that, they still haven't really beaten anybody this season. All of their wins have come against teams that are really kind of stinky. I don't have them pulled up here right quick, but I mean, I know they've beaten teams that are just not very good. Their biggest signature win so far, I think, was beating the Bengals whenever that game was. I think that was just last weekend. So
4 days ago.
yeah. I mean, that's their best win that they have on the season so far. The Ravens are a completely different tier from everybody else that they've played so far this season. And their Ravens are coming off a really tough loss to the Steelers. I don't see the Ravens losing back-to-back games, and I don't see them losing to a team that, even though it's playing well and playing well above expectations this season, I don't see the Ravens losing to this team.
No, I would not. The Chargers tried really hard to charge and charging. They almost charging, whatever the proper tense is I'm trying to say. They tried really hard to blow it against the Bengals, and they didn't. But two teams that have choked more often than you would expect. I don't know. The Ravens should outclass them and win, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to another team outclassing the other one. The Chiefs are going to Carolina. What was the actual spread on this game? Since we're picking it at 9.5 instead of the real spread.
Only like 10.5, actually.
Okay, so only a point off. Okay. But yeah, the Chiefs, at first, I did think for a second about oh Jesus, their offense is not that good and they're on the road, but then again, their offense has been getting better. They only lost by 1 score to the Bills. So just by the virtue of being out there on the field more often, because that defense will destroy Bryce Young, I was more comfortable taking a 9.5 spread. This should not be any question the Chiefs will kill them.
Yeah, I bet this game solely on the defensive aspect of Steve Spagnuolo is going to make Bryce Young see things that are going to frighten him to death, and he's never going to ever want to play quarterback again. Um, the defense that the Chiefs are going to play is going to just overwhelm the Panthers. I mean, they're going to have no chance. If the Panthers have 150 yards of offense in this game, I'll be astounded. We should have even bet that, but I don't like taking unders. But the Panthers are going to do absolutely nothing in this game. They're never going to be able to move the ball. I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be overly impressive on offense. I think this will be one of those games where they sort of just throttle it down, if you will. Like they'll probably come out regular Chiefs offense, guns blazing through the first half, but it'll probably be 24-3 or 24-7 by the end of the first half, and then they'll throttle it down in the second half, and it'll just be, Kareem Hunt runs, Samaje Perine runs, and just a bunch of crap runs in the second half, and maybe the Panthers will luck into a touchdown because it'll just be a slogfest of a game, but they're going to beat them very easily, very handily in this game. I have no doubt. And this is my Survivor Pool pick of the week.
There we go. I like that. That's a very good pick. Very safe pick.
Yeah, well, I need one. I need to stay alive, man. This is big money still alive.
Yeah, no kidding. So on to our next game. The Dallas Cowboys are going to their division rival Commanders, and the Commanders have lost the last 2 games in a row. It's not been 3 in a row, right?
I don't know. I'll look. Keep going.
But yeah, no, the Cowboys, sure, they play better on the road than at home. They are on a historic pace for having one of the worst home stretches in NFL history, literally. So sure, maybe they'll play better on the road, ironically, but the Commanders are coming off at least two losses, if not 3. I think it's only 2 though. So
2 losses to the entire state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's funny. So coming off of 2 losses in a row, they get to come back home and just take out all their frustration on the Cowboys. The Cowboys just, to use a Gen Z term, they are quiet quitting. There's no way they're not. Mike McCarthy knows he's getting fired. Cooper just doesn't have the sheen on him that he did last time we saw him in extended time. Just the Cowboys are just wanting this season to be over. I don't know if you're a Cowboys fan listening to this. First, why? But also, tell me why I'm wrong. Like the Commanders this should be a get right game for the Commanders.
Why? That was amazing. Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. That was why I wanted to take this game as much as I did. I'm going to look to see what the actual spread was too. Actual spread on this was 10.5 as well. So again, it was just to alt it to get underneath the 10. Because the money line sucked. The money line was terrible.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I mean, most of these when we took them, the money line is 600. I mean, it's just stupid. So, I mean, no one thinks that the Cowboys are going to win this game, except for like Jerry Jones's mom, which that's from the grave. But I mean, the Cowboys are just a mess right now. Like you said, I mean, they've completely given up on the season. They've completely given up on McCarthy. Cooper Rush isn't the answer. He can't accomplish anything. They'll probably go to Trey Lance in this game. The Commanders, the Commanders defense isn't great. But it doesn't have to be in this game. I mean, all the Cowboys have is CeeDee Lamb. They don't have anything else. The Cowboys can't run the ball. So all they got to do is just bracket CeeDee Lamb, keep him occupied, and the Cowboys will fade, and they'll fade fast. So this Commanders offense, even though they've lost the last 2 games, has still put up, 28 points and 18 points? Yeah, or 27 points and 18 points. So, I mean, like, they're still scoring. They just haven't been able to.
Not bad at all. Scary Terry, and then they got a 3-headed running back attack, and then Zach Ertz doesn't look completely washed with them. Like he's not good for fantasy, but he makes important catches in the moment. Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like they're gonna blow them out, like I said, and like you said, because I think that the Cowboys have quit. This is probably one of the few things on our ticket that I'm a little bit concerned about, just because it is a divisional game, and sometimes divisional games, as you like to say, can be wonky, and strange things can happen. I don't think anything will happen as strange as the Cowboys winning, but it could end up being one of those things where the game's a lot closer than most people anticipate.
Yeah, I I hold reservation for when the talent is that far apart, the rule doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can be wrong, of course. So I was completely cool with this being a 10-point cover. Like the Commanders this all feels like a get right game for the Commanders to just wallop on the Cowboys.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, hopefully. And so wow,
Woo!
that was the last one. Okay, because we did cover these.
Yeah.
And $5 from each of us. Yeah, that will be that'll be just a hair over 600 each.
Yeah. Yeah. I could do all right with that.
Oh my god, my Christmas would be so wonderful with that.
Yeah. For sure.
So with that, we'll go ahead and take this down. Obviously, gamble responsibly, follow the rules and whatnot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Gamble responsibly. Don't ever not gamble responsibly. That would be terrible.
Indeed.
As I was just placing bets before the show started.
Yes, and we have our own separate bet that we'll talk about at the end.
Yeah, and I've got bets coming up for me in like 15-20 minutes.
Yes.
You'll hear my little alarm go off like you always do right at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. But for now, for the next, say, 15-20 minutes or so, we are playing the Green Bay Packers. We are going back to Lambeau Field. It is the 4:30 game of the week with Tom Brady and Kevin again. After we just had him 2 weeks ago with Tampa Bay. And I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about this game, like just because no, we're technically like not out of it yet because there's only one game between us and everybody and the Cardinals. Like our division technically is still a hot mess. Like getting a wild card spot is ironically a much longer shot than just winning the division, just looking at the numbers. But very, very depressing injury update news. Purdy was only out at practice for half the game today, and all Kyle said was, well, hopefully he feels great Sunday. Thanks, Kyle. Like, very reassuring.
Yeah.
And then Kittle seemingly looks like he's going to go.
Kittle said either earlier today or yesterday he's playing for sure.
Yeah, come hell or high water and a crap load of injections.
Yeah.
Trent didn't practice today. Nick didn't practice today. Bethune, he's just a special teamer. He didn't practice today. But luckily, everybody else seemed okay. Ward's getting eased back into it after being gone for 2 weeks. Sorry, our co-host. Oh, that was just James. That's funny.
Nice.
But no, I don't know. This year, a lot of people were sharing the same sentiment you did, that it just is going to be a snake bitten year like 2020, and it to many degrees is. I just like trying to cling on to anything, but honestly, this is going to be an extremely tough game. It's going to be outdoors in the cold. We are not close to 100% healthy. We're not even close to 90% healthy. The Packers are susceptible though. Like, I like one Packers analyst I heard say that Jordan Love still occasionally has a case of the Brett Favre arm. Well, he'll just inexplicably throw into double coverage for no reason. But so yeah, maybe we'll pick him off once or twice, and maybe we'll break off our own good run here or there because their run defense is not great, but their secondary is really good. I'm very worried. I'll put it that way. I'm very, very worried about this game. This will not be an easy win if we come out with the win. We hit zero room for error, because if we lose this game, then the door is actually shut. Like right now, the door is like squishing our face against the wall. It will actually be closed if we lose this game. And honestly, it is going to be very, very hard to win this game. It feels like this is going to be make or break for real this time. Like, unlike the sky is falling I was doing last week, like it will actually be done if we lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I've been saying for probably 4 or 5 weeks now that we were going to lose this game. I mean, I don't have any confidence in the Niners' ability to win this game. So maybe I'll be completely wrong. I mean, I haven't necessarily been Nostradamus so far this season, but I just don't see any way that we're going to beat this Packers team. I mean, if I'm looking back, at this season and the way the season has gone so far, you just look at the level of quality of the teams that the Packers have played and that they've faced so far this season, and they've just played better in bigger games than the Niners have, and the Niners have just continued to shoot themselves in the foot all season long. I mean, without fail. Their inability to score points when it matters, their inability to execute in the red zone, their inability to finish teams off, it's just killed them all season long. And I don't see them all of a sudden figuring that out in this game. Like, that just doesn't seem like that's going to be, what's gonna happen. So I don't have much optimism at all. I mean, yes, is Jordan Love going to throw an interception this game? I don't know. Maybe. Is he going to throw 3 touchdowns in this game? Probably. Is Josh?
He's thrown an interception, I think, going back to last year, 13 games in a row.
So, is Josh? I could look that up for you real quick while I'm talking. Is Josh Jacobs gonna run all over our defense? Seems pretty likely. I mean, we haven't been very stout at stopping really good running backs. I mean, if it's kind of a crappy running back, we're holding up pretty good against them. But wow, yeah, death taxes and Jordan Love those interceptions. We should have put that into the ticket. Yeesh.
Yeah, how many games back is it? Is it even 14 games maybe? Because he threw 2 picks against us when we knocked him out of the divisional round.
Yeah, that was the last time he did not throw a pick in the Dallas game when they whipped their ass. So
okay, since we kicked him out of the playoffs.
Yeah. He's just done nothing but throw picks and touchdowns mixed in. So
that's why I was saying the Brett Favre arm, just huck it and pray.
Yeah. But I mean, if he throws 1 pick but 3 touchdowns, I mean, like, you're probably still going to win off of that. So,
yeah.
Bosa hasn't practiced for 2 days in a row. That's not very promising. We just showed last week that if Bosa doesn't play, our front 4 is basically completely inept and can't do anything.
Yeah. Leonard Floyd does not make up for that.
No, we didn't get any pressure at all on Geno Smith once Bosa left the game. So if Bosa can't play, Jordan, I mean, if Jordan Love can just stand back there happy as a clam in the pocket and throw the ball around to his talented receiving crew and tight end, we're going to get demolished because he's going to pick our team apart. I mean, it's not an indictment against the 49ers secondary, because the 49ers secondary is actually not bad. I mean, they're actually pretty decent. It's just that when you give a quarterback that much time, you can't cover for 4 or 5 seconds. I mean, guys get open. So, I mean, if we can't get pressure, we're going to be done. And we've struggled to get pressure all season long as it is. So without Bosa, that's going to be hard. And then just offensively, I mean, it all starts and stops with Purdy. If Purdy doesn't play, this game is over. Brandon Allen's not beating Jordan Love. We should just put in the space, the astronaut and just the pastronaut, and let Dobbs play. He might beat Jordan Love. I don't know, but Purdy's got to do something that I think it was Olsen maybe mentioned on the broadcast last week, because he's got to look for McCaffrey in those checkdown situations a lot more. So I get that, he was running and he was scrambling, and I don't think that that's necessarily bad. I mean, he was doing a really good job of it, and he was doing fantastic, and he was making the right plays, and he was getting us first downs, and he was moving the sticks, and all of that was fine. But now that McCaffrey is back, and I mean, they showed a couple of plays where, he would run the route and he would kind of just, get 3-4 yards out in front of the line of scrimmage and be standing there all by himself. Purdy has got to look boom, look, boom, and just drop it down to McCaffrey and let McCaffrey try to make something happen. Maybe McCaffrey only gets 4 or 5 yards. Okay, that's fine. We'll take it. I'd much rather McCaffrey get 4 or 5 yards and get tackled versus Purdy scrambling for 6 or 7 yards and sliding or getting tackled. I still don't want Purdy getting hit more than I want McCaffrey getting hit, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's got to learn to check down a little bit because, maybe McCaffrey can make a guy miss, or maybe, he can break a tackle or something like that. He has more chance of making something happen than Purdy does scrambling around. So he's got to check down a little bit more. Juwan's doing a great job still of stepping up and filling in that X receiver role. Ricky kind of disappeared last week. It was disappointing to see that he wasn't really involved in doing much of anything. That was pretty disappointing. Hopefully he's able to step up this week. But as you pointed out, Dan, the Green Bay secondary is actually really good as well. So, I don't know how we're going to generate those really big plays and those really big scoring opportunities other than hopefully he's right. Kittle plays in this game because Kittle can be the real difference maker. And to our earlier point about, him likely scoring a touchdown, he's going to be running through the middle and running through those coverages against their linebackers and stuff. And the Packers linebackers are not great coverage linebackers. So he has a lot of chance and a lot of opportunity to get open if the Packers corners and safeties are focused on our receivers and such like that. So, it could be an opportunity for McCaffrey to get open and do a lot of stuff in the short passing game as well. So we're going to have to do some stuff differently in this game. I think it's going to be a really grinded out type of game. We've been making offensively a lot of big splash plays this whole season. We haven't been able to convert any of those into points for whatever stupid ass reason, but we've been hitting 15-yard, 20-yard, 25-yard passes, fairly consistently every game, at least once, twice a game. And I just don't see that happening in this particular game unless there's a weird coverage breakdown, right? Like unless something really happens. But just because that Packers secondary is so good. But I guess we'll see. I'm diehard, so I'm gonna watch the game. But I'm anticipating being angry and frustrated by the end of the first half. I think this is probably going to be, 17-7 by the end of the first half, Green Bay. And then, we're playing catch up at that point in time, and that doesn't ever go well for us.
No, it's for me, on the offensive side, for me, we've become pretty one-dimensional. Like Purdy it's going to depend on if we have Kittle or not. Kittle's going to be a real big difference. Kittle will be a nice difference maker to help relieve some of the pressure, but Debo does not beat man coverage, and Ricky is just a rookie. So yeah, like 9 out of 10 times, the first read's going to be Juwan. So if you cover Juwan, even an average back is going to be able to cover Ricky and Debo. So that just makes it that much harder in the passing game that we don't have like our full arsenal of weapons. Because when we have Debo, Brandon, Juwan, and George all out there, that's when it was the maximum, like, where the hell's it going? And you couldn't guess. And plus Christian in the back. Now we have a half-hurt Kittle, a recovering Christian, Ricky, who's a rookie, Debo, who is virtually completely inefficient this year. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Debo's just not making anything this year. And then Juwan's half carrying the passing attack on his back, like outside of the red zone where Kill cleans up and vultures the touchdown. We just have nothing. And we got to figure out a way to disguise Christian or disguise Kittle to draw attention to them. So if they blink wrong, either of them can take a hit, or we trick them into looking there, and then Ricky could maybe get a 40-yard touchdown, or Juwan can actually break a tackle and go for 40 yards. Like, we got to figure out a way to keep them guessing. Otherwise, it's a lost cause.
Yeah, it would be really nice if we could get the run game going too. I mean, McCaffrey's been back
We have,
for 2 games,
we have
and
3 very capable backs, and just because Christian's back, it's only going through Christian. Did you not see that Isaac Guerrero and Jordan Mason were actually doing really damn good, like, right until Christian came back? Like,
yeah,
we have 3 very capable backs. Why aren't we running a lot more? Like, we need to go back to adding a lot more run plays into the playbook, even if it looks like it's not going well. One of these 3 guys are going to break through if you feed the ball enough. Like,
yeah, we haven't converted any of our runs. There was a time last year was great, and then even the year before where we would hit a lot of our runs on first or second down, and it was 6-yard run, 7-yard run, maybe even just a 5-yard run, but it was like 5 or more, generally every time. We were setting ourselves up well for a good second down or a good third down, right? Because we were only, maybe 3rd and 3 or something like that, right? And this season, it hasn't been that. First down has been 2-3 yards, and then second down is incomplete pass, and then so now we're sitting at 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 or whatever it is, and trying to convert that, and then now we're having to throw the ball to somebody, and if it's not Juwan catching it and getting us the first down, we don't convert and nothing happens. So I mean, I'm not sure what the solution to that is. I'm not sure how we get the run game going better, but the right side of the line, I mean, it's not really Pooney's fault. I mean, he seems to be doing really well blocking, but the right side of the line doesn't seem to be moving people and kind of just shoving them out of the way like they were a year or 2 ago. And then even on the left-hand side, when we run that way, we're just not getting the kind of space that we were before. Don't you remember we used to run those sweeps all the time, right? We just, Purdy would get it and he would just chuck it out to McCaffrey on a sweep to the right, and McCaffrey would run right down there around the edge. He'd pick up 7-8 yards on a basically a power sweep around the edge, and then we'd chuck it to the left side, and McCaffrey'd run, pick up 6-7 yards around to the left side. And then we'd maybe just take it up the middle, and Kittle would come through and do one of those crack blocks, coming through the middle on a trap block. He would come through and do one of those trap blocks, catch a guy coming through the middle, and we'd pick up 5-6 yards on a little trap block play up the middle and stuff like that. We just don't seem to be executing those things as well this season, and it's costing us. We're having a lot of these longer situations, and it just makes it different.
Well, Trent being hurt, that you just reminded me who I was spacing on. Trent was not practicing today either with a bum ankle. So,
I mean, if Trent doesn't play on Sunday, good luck.
No, there goes our running game. Like, without Trent, like, our running game is non-existent. Like, Juszczyk and Kittle can block just fine, but we can't sweep to the left if Trent isn't knocking the edge rusher down, and then we cut in, and we can't. And then we can't have a sweep to the right with Trent cutting across the line, like, or Kittle. Like, again, Kittle can block on the right, fine, but like, you can't replicate the bulldozer that Trent Williams is when he's actually healthy. It's insane.
No. Yeah.
So no, that's what I mean. Like, back to the injury report, like, Kittle's going to play come hell or high water, but Bosa's probably going to be out. Trent has a good chance of being out. Kittle or Purdy's 50-50. Like, this could really, really suck if we're not any more healthy.
Yeah, I mean, it always, for me, it always starts at the quarterback position, right? So, I mean, if Purdy doesn't play, this game is over. There's not even any point in watching it. It doesn't matter. There's no way we're beating the Packers with Brandon Allen or the Pastronaut at quarterback. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If Trent doesn't play, I'd say there's like a 15% chance that we win with Purdy and Kittle and no Trent. If Kittle doesn't play, I'd say there's like a 5% chance that we win with Trent and Purdy and no Kittle, because we just showed last week that we can't do any offense without Kittle.
No, not right. Well, I mean, Kittle, hopefully this is what I wanted to shake Kyle over. Like, if he was so bad at practice, like, what was the backup plan? And hopefully he has a better idea of a backup plan now. Like, because again, Kittle has been limited, so he's been actually practicing versus last week when he wasn't. So
yeah,
we just got, I don't know. We gotta pray that we don't get the worst case scenario, that Bosa's more than likely going to be out. And then Trent, probably, I'd say like 75% is going to be out. Kittle, 25% chance. Purdy, 50-50. Like, this just sucks.
I mean, Bosa not playing is a real big problem. I mean,
yeah, Bosa's like 95% not likely to play.
Yeah, I mean, him not playing is just, I mean, we showed last week that we just cannot get any sort of pressure without him in the game. So, I mean, I'm not sure what the heck it is that we're going to do to slow Jordan Love down if Bosa's not in the game. Like, I just don't know what the expectation is there. Like,
it's going to be bad.
Completely lost. So, we'll just have to roll with it and see what happens. But I think if we're able to let Jordan Love stand back there and just pick us apart, we're done for. I mean, there's no shot.
He actually does have a very good. I think he is top 5 least sack quarterbacks in the year. Not to be a complete Debbie Downer, but he is one of the least sack quarterbacks in the league right now, which is.
He has been sacked 8 total times across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. So he's averaging being sacked once a game. Now he got sacked 3 times in one game. So there's 1, 2, 3 games that he hasn't been sacked in.
Yep. Okay. So probably the best in terms of avoiding the sack quarterback in the league we're facing. So
I mean,
Bosa.
yeah.
And it's at home.
Home
for them.
Yeah, and now it worries me even more because now it sounds like that even if Bosa plays, he still probably ain't going to make a difference because he ain't going to get to him probably.
Yeah, no, it was one side that he was overcompensating for, so now both of his obliques are sore. Like, that's not good. I can't imagine how painful that feels.
I wish I knew what an oblique was. I don't think I have one of those.
Oh my God. I did look it up so I could know specifically, like, because it kept saying hip, and I was like, okay, so it clearly involves your hip. Like, what specifically? Like, is it from your hip into your thigh, or is it the other way? And it's the other way. It's the muscle in between it's like along your ribs connecting to your hip.
Oh, okay.
Google an anatomy picture. It's like, it's the muscles like right here, basically.
All right.
But no, I think, God, I don't know. We'll say a prayer before kickoff. I don't know what much else there is to cover there. Plus, we got to get to a special little bonus bet that we're doing. But first, I'm going to talk about the sponsors first before we talk about that. What is our sponsor? Our sponsor has been with us for going on 2 years now, Royal Retros. What is Royal Retros? It's your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey, whether you're a football fan, basketball fan, or a fan of any of the major sports. Royal Retros has you covered. Go ahead and check out the Candlestick collection. It's curated with the Bay Area in mind for all of us 49er fans. And you can use the promo code Shady Sports when you find something you like and get 10% off of your entire order. Again, that's promo code Shady Sports. Gets you 10% off of your entire order at royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. Also, we are selling t-shirts. And what kind of t-shirts am I talking about? They are inspired by how terrible some of the owners are in the league. Like, it started back when Dan Snyder was still in the league. James and I were all about following that, and we think that all the owners need to be held to the same standard of just being held accountable just for being a terrible person. There's so many of them. The Texans minority owner, Jim Irsay, has done some questionable things. Our own owner has done some questionable things. And, of course, David Tepper. So we started this hashtag owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability. We started that. And to help spread awareness that the owners need to be held to a higher standard than the players, frankly. And we're also putting our money where our mouth is with t-shirts here on our Bonfire store. This is our standard, our owner standards shirt. We call that. It's got the hashtag on there. It comes in a variety of colors and different styles, like a long sleeve, a pullover hoodie, and a crew neck. You can customize it basically however you'd like. Pricing starting at $22.99. And all of the proceeds from these shirts that we're showing you right now are going to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. It's a women crisis center in Kentucky. The next shirt, it's our cover art. Whether you're listening to us on podcast platform or watching us here on YouTube, this is our cover art. Again, pricing starting at $22.99, and the proceeds will be going to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. The alternate logo is this shirt. This is probably my personal favorite out of these shirts. It's got the goalposts and the peanuts this time, and it looks beautiful in red, but you can get it in a couple other colors too, including blue, if that suits your fancy for some reason. And just like all the other shirts, all these are priced starting at $22.99 and going up from there. And last but not least, it's our mascot Peanut, eating a bowl of peanuts in his Niners hat, patiently waiting for Tom Brady again to call us, second time this year, as we go to very cold Green Bay to face the Packers. Again, all the proceeds from all 4 of these shirts I just showed you are going to Mount Comprehensive Care Center, the link to our Bonfire store, and if you want more info on Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, the website's there in the show notes as well. All right, sir. Last but not least, we do have one more bet to talk about. I'm not wearing this hat because it's very cold. Otherwise, I would be. But our 2 colleges. Did you go to OSU, by the way?
I did not. No, I just live here.
Okay, I didn't go to IU either, but
Hey, all right. Hey.
But our colleges our chosen colleges are playing each other this weekend with a lot on the line. Indiana University is currently 9-0, 10-0. 10-0, yes. Because that was the big deal from 2 weeks ago. We are 10-0 coming off a bye week, going to the Ohio State University. What's the nickname of your stadium, by the way?
The Shoe.
The Shoe, Jesus. Okay. I knew you had a nickname. I completely spaced it for some reason. So the Indiana Hoosiers are going to the Shoe. Big Noon Kickoff is doing the pregame coverage, and kickoff is at 12. Ohio State is currently 9-1, and like I said, the Hoosiers are 10-0, and pretty much the ticket to the Big Ten championship against Oregon is on the line for both of us. Like, you have to do a little bit more because you have one loss. We're in if we win. Literally 11-0, we're in. It's going to be Oregon and Indiana playing down the block from me at Lucas Oil Stadium. So damn it, this better happen. And so for what we're going to do, we don't have tickets on here, but what we're doing is a little bit more personal. We found these on Amazon, and if the Hoosiers win, this will be going to your home, Eric. And if switch to this tab, if the Buckeyes win, then this will be here. And I already know I'm going to move this conference hat over here, and I'll put this OSU right there. And I'll have it on display. I haven't decided either up until the Big Ten championship, or I don't know. I may even do you a solid if Ohio makes it pretty far in. I'll keep it up until whenever they get kicked out of the tournament.
Yeah.
And yours, I can see a perfect spot for yours. Yours can go. I'm going to blow this. Yours can go right there on that easel. That would look so perfect right there.
Oh, yeah. I'll just stick it right on the easel. That's fine. I can do that. Hang it on the easel. You know what? Before long, the Christmas tree will be there, and I'll just hang it on the Christmas tree.
Yo, there we go. But no, how do you the betting odds put my Indiana Hoosiers as 13-point underdogs? So I find that a little disrespectful. Not gonna lie.
That seems quite surprising. So
how do you feel about this game?
I don't ever feel good about Ryan Day in a big game that matters because he sucks. But I mean, I'm gonna hope that the monster of receivers that we have, can win out and beat your Indiana Hoosiers. But I don't have a ton of faith in us in this particular game. But I guess we'll see what happens. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. It'll probably be the first OSU game that I actually watched this entire season.
I'll admit it took me about a month or maybe even 6 weeks to start watching the IU games. Like, once they finally oh, what? They're 6. I think it was. What? They're 6-0. What are you talking about? And then
Yeah.
I saw them after that, and I was like, oh, Indiana's actually really good for once.
Yeah. Well, like Ohio State usually plays a bunch of like cupcake crappy teams, and it's just like I can't. It's not fun for me to watch them beat somebody 42-7. Like that's just like not football.
Yeah.
They're throwing passes and the wide receivers. There's nobody within 5 yards of them, and it's like, oh wow, you completed that pass. I'm so shocked. It's like, duh. It's like you got. We have 5-star recruits playing against 3-star recruits. It's like, well, yeah, of course we're gonna win, right? I mean, it's like unless something really wonky happens. So it's like it's worth watching like the first quarter to see it's like, oh, is something bizarre gonna happen? And then once it's like 21-0 after the first quarter, you're like, oh nope, this is exactly what I expected. Okay, I'm done. So I don't watch a lot of OSU football for that particular reason, but big games like this, like I'll tune in and watch to see what's gonna go down.
I cannot wait. This is the biggest game that Indiana will have. It's the only ranked team. Yes, I get it. That's why we're 13-point underdogs. Dude, we beat down. Yes, we had what? I forgot what game it was. We only had one game that we really had to like grind it out. I think that was against Michigan State, maybe. I don't remember. Or no, Michigan U, not Michigan State. Michigan actually put up a bit of a fight with us, but no, it's going to be exciting. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
But yep, we each got we got one of us is going to be having a sign for a couple weeks, depending on how well when you guys are watching this tomorrow goes. But yeah, I guess to wrap things up then, our game is 4:30 on Sunday, and game of the week on Fox. Probably everybody will be able to watch it, and everybody.
Let me look real quick.
And most everybody should be able to watch Ohio State and Indiana Saturday at 12. I don't know what channel that's on, but Big Noon Saturdays covering the pregame.
Let's see. Fox late. Yes. Everywhere except if you live in Arizona or the upper northwest of the country is watching San Francisco Green Bay.
Okay, so basically Seattle and Arizona, and that's it.
Yep.
That makes sense. They're the only people that wouldn't care about us.
Yeah. Yep.
But
you will get to watch Detroit and Indianapolis in your Fox early window.
Whoop, whoop. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see how bad that goes.
Yeah. Should go really, really bad. Oh man, why? See, I just don't understand why they pick the games that they pick. On the CBS single window, the vast majority of the country gets Kansas City and Carolina. Who wants to watch that?
That game's gonna be awful.
But I guess in their defense, there's not any good games in this early window either. You got Kansas City, Carolina, Tampa Bay Giants, which isn't very interesting, but like might be a good game just because both teams are kind of not great.
Don't you dare disrespect Baker like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, they just don't have. Mike Evans comes back, so they might be better this week. They've just been ravaged by injuries right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've got Miami and New England, which probably not going to be that good because it's in Miami, so Miami will probably be great. You have Houston and Tennessee. That's like it in the early window. So I mean, like I don't know.
That's really it.
Yeah. So I mean, like the early games do kind of suck.
That I'll watch Tampa and the Giants just for Baker, but otherwise, no. That whole lineup does suck.
Yeah. All the really good games are like primetime games this week. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, which shouldn't be a good game, but it's always just an intriguing matchup, right? And then you've got Philly and the Rams on Sunday night, and then you've got Baltimore and the Chargers on Monday night. So
honestly, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that the spread tonight's only 4. That doesn't make any sense to me. Vegas must know something that I don't know.
I don't know. All I know is that I'm really looking forward to Jameis Winston's pump-up speech going on social media in about an hour.
That should be great. Yeah, the Steelers should just mash them off the board. But like I was talking to you a couple weeks ago, the whole Thursday night thing with the home team winning about 70 to 75% of the games and this being a really old school divisional battle, like, I don't know. I guess the Browns could like wake from the dead and sneak and win this game. But I mean, the Steelers should easily pound them into the dirt.
I will literally need to see that to believe that. I have no faith that that will happen.
Yeah. Well, game started, so let's get out of here and watch what happens.
Absolutely. Guys, comment below, even though that won't help us.
You guys suck. The Steelers didn't win at all. You guys are losers. Be like, I had no idea. The game was happening right now.
It's well, actually, no. I was gonna say it's the one part of our show that's not evergreen, but really, it's a weekly show. Every episode is not evergreen. So
yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we will catch you guys on Monday. Outro music is River Road by Justin Muth. Let's beat the pack. Let's try to.
Go Niners!
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road,